Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I am indeed Jolene, and it's really great to be with you on what is a beautiful Wednesday here in Minnesota. Of course, I have so much to tell you and a lot of updates, so we are going to jump right into the good stuff. I'm going to start first with our Happy Time happenings, and I know that you've seen this before, and I'm just so excited about my silly little banners. But my Happy Time happenings, what's going on here? And at the farm, we have a retreat starting tomorrow. This is Darren's cooking retreat. He will be welcoming 14 guests, and this is his international edition. He's doing this with a lifelong friend, Ken, and they are doing I, I think this is incredible. They're starting with curry. Indian curry. And then they're going to be teaching folks how to make chili crisp. And then they're going to Japan. Then they're going to China. Then they're going to Italy. And that's pretty much going to be the 4 days. So they have been busy prepping. They're upstairs. I can hear them goofing around right now. And we are very excited to welcome our 14 guests tomorrow. If you're not familiar with the cooking retreats that we do at Big Raven Farm, be sure to head on over to our website. And of course, I'll link it in the show notes. They sell out. They sell out so fast. And that's because our chef is amazing. He's so good. I'm so proud of him. And if you haven't had a chance to read our Google reviews, my goodness, they all talk about the food. And I'm so happy. I'm happy for him because he does such an amazing job. So that starts tomorrow. And the ones for 2026 are already listed and there for you. In fact, our entire schedule for 2026 has been released and it's out there. And oh my gosh, folks are getting in. They're getting the jump. They're registering early, which makes sense. There's 14 to 16 spots at each retreat, so they go pretty fast. So if you have any questions about that or you need any more information about what our retreats are like, please, please, please reach out and I will be sure to help you along. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Karen. It is so good to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. It's always lovely hanging out with my friends, so I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. All right. So I want to make sure that we have lots of time for today's guest. Today's guest is a person that I'm really looking forward to having a good chat with. AJ Young is a queer trans fiber artist from Fennville, Michigan, a lifelong crafter. He began knitting seriously in 2014, expanding into quilting, bag making, dyeing, weaving, and mixed media art. AJ is a lot like us, friends, a little bit of dabbling in all the fun things. AJ teaches fiber arts and creative wellness, blending art with sociology. His series, Stitching Our Histories, transforms historical LGBTQ plus documents into quilts. So that's a thing that we have to talk about. So I know you'll do a really good job of welcoming AJ to the Happy Time Craftcast. There he is. Hi, AJ.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Joleen.
Hi. Thank you so much for being here. We are absolutely thrilled to have you.
I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for that great intro. Also, I was just making a mental note. I need to go look at those retreat openings for next year.
We didn't even practice that. Thank you. That's so nice of you. I appreciate that. Well, I love that. So there's so much interesting little nuggets that you share on social. And one of the things that caught my eye is the way that you dabble in bringing fiber into so many things. So when you tell folks what you do in the crafty space, like how do you say it? Do you say, like, what do you say? Because I know I struggle with that too, because I do so many things, but what do you say?
Yeah. And some of it, I think, depends a little bit on the context and
Sure.
how I'm feeling that day. Because, what I do as a fiber artist is a little bit
Yes.
what my brain is sparking.
Mhm.
But generally, I say I'm a crafter, a maker, an artist, and I work primarily in fiber, so fabric and yarn. But I am never afraid to try anything at least once.
Exactly.
If I do it and I can put it into fabric and yarn, then I'm probably going to do that too. So a lot of the printmaking that I've done, taken traditional printmaking courses on paper and things, and then I go,
Sure.
I could probably do this on fabric.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And right now, you have a project going, a quilt along, correct? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the Stitching Our Histories project, is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? So the one that I just finished is actually hanging up right behind me.
Nice.
And you might notice it's got curtains on it. So it's very much in the art quilt space. These aren't quilts that are necessarily, meant to be snuggled up with.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I have a degree in sociology. I have way too many degrees, honestly, and have always been interested and spent a lot of time with history and particularly
Mhm.
LGBTQ history because that's a personal identity of mine, but also something that like we don't get taught in school, most of us.
Yeah.
And so when I worked as the director of an LGBTQ center at a university, I was talking with students and realized so many of them did not know what I even thought of as like basic history for
Mhm.
our community. And, when I do things, it's fun to talk and like teach like more traditionally. But for me, it really felt like a space where I needed to make art about that. And
Of
so
course.
that's what I've started doing. I teach some classes, workshops about how to incorporate documents and history into your art, whether that's quilting or whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be LGBT stuff, whatever your
Sure.
personal or larger scale history. But
Mhm.
that's the thing that's really a passion of mine is sort of blending those and giving people a different entry into the
Right.
history through the art and the textiles.
Right. Well, and I was gonna say that like there's something that kind of like shines through my heart and my experience, and that is that um when my son came out, it was many years ago. He's 27 and he did when he was 14. And it was mom, I have something to tell you. It was like really scary and dramatic for him, and like he needed all of his gumption and safety, I guess, to tell his family his news. And it was heartbreaking for me that he needed, like, that he didn't know, right? That he had that insecurity, that he didn't know for sure that we would love him forever, like, no matter what. And we would throw a parade and we wouldn't, we would be so happy that he was out of that scary closet and like safe and, encircled by his family. So, but the art part that like speaks to me is that many, many years later, another child went on a date with a same-sex partner, but didn't have to have this huge, come on, mom, I got to sit you down. It was just
Have
like,
the talk, yeah.
right, yeah, like it wasn't like, I just feel like, I'm just so grateful, that it's like, yep, I'm dating a girl. Yep, I'm dating a boy. And it's like, okay, yay, tell me about them. And so like something shines inside of me that, the experiences of one have changed.
Mhm.
And I'm just so grateful. I don't know. I
Yeah,
need like a quilt about that.
right. Yeah, and I think that's been a really interesting part of this for me. I mean, I've been out for so long. I'm
Mhm.
almost 40, and had a very similar experience. I was pretty confident, thankfully, that my family would react
Yes.
positively, and they absolutely did. But
Yes.
I know there's so many people that don't have that experience and
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
that confidence, even if the experience ends up being positive, don't necessarily have the
Mhm.
confidence or are pretty confident that it won't go well, and then
Yeah.
they're right. So,
Well,
uh,
and he was just a baby,
yeah,
14, like, it was his
yeah,
insecurity was like, "What if my mom doesn't love me anymore?"
yeah,
When of course, but
yeah,
it was just like the jump
yeah.
was the scary bit.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so the first few quilts I've made have been very much on the, like, document regulation side.
Yeah.
Sort of a parallel series that I'm just starting, that is really diving into my own experience, which is a
Mhm.
thing I've very self-reflective, I've spent a lot of
Yes.
time thinking about identity and learning and literally researching about it,
Mhm.
but to make art about it is, like, a really interesting new
Isn't
level of
it?
vulnerability for me
Yes.
to, like, explore some of these things that I feel very comfortable in, right? There's not
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, who am I?" Like, I know who I am, but to sort of
Right.
think about especially, I think, coming into middle age, new period of life,
Right.
thinking about, like, how important is this identity to me? Because it shows up in so many different ways now that I'm an
Sure.
adult than when I was in my 20s and sort of figuring myself out. And when you're 20, you're sort of just like everything's a crisis and you're yelling about everything, whether it's good or bad, right? Like
Right.
it's a big deal. And now it just sort of feels like part of who I am. But
Well, and so AJ, as a maker then, like, do you have like a favorite project, a medium or technique? Like, is there something that, because of all the things you dabble and make and create, do you have a lane? Mine kind of jumps around.
yeah. And I would say one of the things I love about being sort of a poly-craftual, as I call it,
I love
is
that. Can we get t-shirts made? Oh
I
my God.
literally am like, I need to make a sticker or a t-shirt or something.
Yeah.
Like I identify as poly-craftual.
So
Um,
awesome.
I definitely I do have stickers that I've made that say proudly craft curious as well.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
but so one of the things I love about being this sort of mixed media polycraftual
Mhm,
person is that I get to let the project and the medium and the technique sort of
mhm.
be what they need to be for that
Sure.
project. But I would say if I had to just pick one to only
Yeah.
do for the rest of my life, quilting would be it. Like
Okay, and quilting, so tell us more. Quilting machine, quilting hand, quilting piecing,
yeah,
quilting applique,
I
like
know there's
which?
so many different things, and of course, even within quilting, I can't just pick one. So
Right, of course.
I am primarily a machine piecer and a machine
Okay.
quilter, but
Yep.
I have been getting more into embroidery and like hand embellishment.
Oh, yeah.
I've done some hand quilting. I used to be like the person that would do anything and everything to not have to hand sew. Like I literally would sew
Oh, right.
my sewing
Same.
machine.
Mhm.
Like I would not even sew a button on by hand. I'd be like, nope, I can do this with a zigzag stitch. That's fine. Um,
I can't even imagine the navigating around that,
so
like,
that
I would break a needle, like, I would
for
just
those
make a
of you
mess.
who are sewers or don't want to sew buttons on, if you do a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine at 0 length, and then you just figure out the width based on the button, you sort of hand crank to make sure you're going to get it into the holes, and
Seriously.
then it just goes back and forth, and you don't have to hand sew your button.
Oh
I
my gosh. See,
That's
my
how
brain is just
desperate I
like, I would just whip stitch it. It'd be ugly. It wouldn't even be cute,
well,
you
that's what
know?
I was like, this is how desperate I was to not
Yeah,
hand. I was like, I'm going to do the research to figure out how to sew a button onto this.
right.
I've gotten over that. I've
Yep,
grown as a
yep,
person.
yep.
And so I do a little bit more hand sewing. I do actually enjoy some embroidery,
Awesome. So what
embellish.
are you making right now? Like, so are you like Jolene's Happy Time audience? And like, okay, friends, tell AJ how many projects you have going at one time, because the answer will never be one. It will always be
So,
like
and
25.
it's October now, and every
Yeah.
October I get this sort of urge to do the like
Mhm.
finish all the stuff that's unfinished,
Yes.
like finish a bunch of things, but then I'm still at the same time starting new things. So
Right.
And so right, I literally just finished a quilt. It's the one that's sort of hanging off the
Oh, we can kind
table.
of see the little angle of it. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if you all are familiar with the Mondrian, P8 Mondrian modern art, the sort of boxes. Actually, it's sitting right behind me. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
oh, we
grab it.
love this.
This
So
is the
if you are listening to the podcast, I'll give you a little play-by-play. AJ is walking over and getting, oh, isn't that lovely?
so many of you may have seen the Mondrian paintings that are the boxes and the
Yes,
colors.
it's got like a real mid-century modern vibe.
Yes, super mid-century modern vibe.
Love that.
But I basically took an image of one of those and reproduced
Yes.
it as a quilt, like got my little ruler out. I did so much
Mhm.
math for
Yuck.
this quilt. Well, but got my ruler out, did the measurements, and I can't do anything in solid. So like the painting is solid. Oh, hey, make it, take it. That's my friend. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, head over to Make It Take It. Jolene's crafty folks will definitely love that shop.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
so I can't do anything in solid. So it's all prints, but it's tone
Yes.
on tone for the most part. So
Well,
that
you have a quote that I found, or maybe you just shared it with me
yeah,
in your pregame, but you
yeah.
said that leopard print is a neutral. Say more.
Oh yeah. So my husband and I have very different color senses.
Yes.
Um,
Mm.
he's a little bit more introverted than I am. He's a little bit more,
Mhm.
sort of, he likes color, right? But he's
Yeah.
more of a like seafoam and
Yes.
mint and sort of those kinds of colors. And I'm a like, if it's not a jewel tone, I'm not messing with it.
Right, right.
So he is also very stylish. He dresses very well.
Mm.
And I'm a sort of more is more person, as you might have guessed by this point. But so he was talking about, neutrals, and he was like, I had some sort of outfit on. He was like, friend, you need to make something more new. Like, you need a neutral for this.
Take one thing away.
Right. Like Chanel says, take one thing off.
Yep,
Right.
take one thing off. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, like, what is a neutral? Like, what even is a neutral? And
Right.
like, well, it's a thing that goes with everything. And so I was like, so leopard print and hot pink. And he was like, no.
But
No.
yes,
And I
actually.
was like, but if the definition of a neutral is that it goes with everything,
Right.
leopard print and hot pink are neutrals. And so that
Exactly.
is my, I go out
That
wearing.
too should be a t-shirt or a
Yeah.
sticker collection. Like, that's a thing. Because I feel like if I had like a little leopard print scarf on right now, like that would look amazing. So
Yes.
like I agree with you. Like they can certainly be incorporated. So okay, I have another question. I'm sorry, I have so many. The next question I have is, so what are you working on right now? So you're like us, glad to know you got
Yeah.
lots of projects going. October, you kind of like to see if you can't finish them up.
Yeah.
But what has got your attention right now?
So I like everybody else, I've got a few things going on. So
Yes.
I'm finishing up a quilt right now that's a foundation paper piecing quilt for a
Ah,
sample for a class I'm teaching in a couple months. I've got multiple quilt tops that I'm piecing because they've been cut sitting in bins. I even
oh,
have
sure.
a little tag that says project in hibernation that goes on.
Yes.
I have the next piece in my Stitching Our History series is actually not a quilt. It's a pair of jeans that I'm embroidering on, and then with a chant from the Stonewall riots. That's got
Okay.
sassy language in it, so I won't necessarily say
Sure,
what
but
it.
I love that.
And then we'll have some printouts of the newspaper coverage of it stitched on it as
Awesome.
well. What else have I got
It's just
going on?
like a wearable piece of art. I love
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
know, you and I have that in common right now too. So, I am working on, so for my pick your projects retreats next year, I always add to the things that people can pick. And one of the projects that I've been working on is I thrifted a denim jacket.
Mhm.
And it's more coat. It's a little bit bigger, like a big denim jacket. And a friend of mine, thank you, Janelle, brought me a ton of interior design sample books
Mm,
because those
they're
friends,
so
they throw away so much stuff and they get new sample books all the time. So she brought me these interior design sample books, and I have been piecing little pieces of the sample book on the back panel of the jacket. And I got it done and I was like, it needs more. So I'm continuing to go all the way around. This thing will be a hot mess when I'm done. I'm whip stitch embroidering to get it on. And then I have this really cool product that I just found. Um, it is called Ink Aid. You ever heard of this?
I have seen that, but I haven't used it yet.
Right. So what we can do is we can transfer. So I found this image. Oh, good Lord. Let me see if I can find it because she's so sassy. So I found this image looking around my studio. Oh, no. Yep. Yep. Sorry, friends. Sorry. This is worth it. So on the back, I found this wonderful image of this woman in an ad from the Saturday Evening Post, 1952.
Yes,
And with the assistance of this ink aid, I can transfer the image of the woman from the ad onto fabric, and then I can add her to my jacket.
amazing.
I know, it is so awesome. And now this is going to be anticlimactic if I can't find the stupid image. But she has got all kinds of sass and she is just amazing. So a couple of like logistical things have to happen. Like I gotta like pull it into probably Photoshop,
Mhm.
clean up all the stuff around it. But this stuff is like I saw it demoed online too. And you do have to have, it's got to be inkjet. So you need an inkjet printer, and then you have to use a piece of acrylic. And it's like the transfer goes onto the acrylic and then it pulls the image, and then you can whoop-de-doop-de it onto fabric.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've been wondering about that because I have a gel plate
Yeah,
for
yeah,
painting that I have not played with nearly enough. And of course, I've seen it done. A lot of people do it on paper, and I
yeah.
immediately was like, could I do that on fabric? And so that's one of
Yes.
my that projects in the queue is to like do some experiments with the image transfer on the gel plate and see if I can do that onto
Well,
fabric.
we do lots of gel plate printing here at our retreats, and God damn, I can't find her, but let me just it's so she's something like this, except she's standing in a bustier and has her hand going like that. Like she's being like super
Yeah,
sassy.
yes,
And it like just belongs. Like I cannot wait. So,
yes.
but I'll circle back and let you all know if it works as well as I think it does, but I'm pretty sure it does because I watched tons and tons of tutorials. You also, though, AJ, you have to have a very special kind of alcohol. You have to have like 91%.
Oh, yeah, the, like, super
The
yeah,
super, yeah. So you can't just, use what you have in like your home medicine cabinet. So there's a little bit of pregame, but like I can just see the like applications, like
yeah,
so many fun things that we can do.
yes, and I
So,
see somebody in our chat just said, "Yes, you can jelly on fabric." So, yeah, thank you.
yes.
That's something I will be
Oh,
experimenting
and
with.
AJ, Deborah is one you can trust. Like she dabbles in all the things and has done all of this. So yeah, yeah.
Yes, I
I
love when
do.
other people are like, "Yes, you can do that. That's not just a crazy idea that was in your brain."
Right. Well, and I do wonder too about like maybe Deborah, you know this, the stability then of paint or jelly plate onto fabric. Can you then wash that textile,
Yeah,
or do we need to add something in there so the paint stays on? That's
yeah.
one I don't know.
Yeah, and that's when, like, I have the, screen printing fabric
Yeah.
paint that I was thinking about using, but then I also have, fabric medium for my acrylic paints,
Yes.
'cause I did a, pair of painted shoes that I totally stole off Pinterest, so they look like pencils, but
Love that.
so, like, because this is just a small part of the stash of supplies that's
Of
in
course,
the room
of
that you
course.
don't know how to use.
I speaking of supplies, I just wrote an article for Strawberry Moon magazine. If you don't know about Strawberry Moon, AJ, you're gonna totally want to know about Strawberry Moon. It is art journaling. It's an art journaling magazine. My friend Suzanne Early is the editor and publisher, and it is not only tutorials and demos, but also inspiration for art journalers. And I know a lot of us who do everything, we art journal as well as like the quick little when
Yep.
you need a little hit of
Quick
dopamine and
fix,
you
yeah.
quick fix, right? And you don't want to get out all of the things. But she's putting together almost like an index of ideas and alphabetical. And mine was upcycling in art journaling.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I talk about is the organization of your stash. So tell me your theory on this because we talk about this a lot in the Happy Time community because I feel like if you are not organized, you can't make or create. Like if you just are drowning in a sea of stuff, you just have stuff because if I can't put my hands on it, I am so frustrated. I also have been trying, it doesn't look like it right now, but I've been trying to give myself the gift of a clean workspace. I don't know, thoughts?
Yeah, so I am a Virgo, type A, oldest child. So
I'm Virgo rising or whatever. Oldest child, type A. Yes,
yeah,
perfect. Continue.
so, um, yes, has to be organized, and
Yes,
I am not a, like, if something is out of place, I can't function
right.
organized, but, like, because like, I will get messy, right? Like,
Yeah,
especially
me
if I'm
too.
working on a project and, like, with fabric and quilting, you got all these scraps piling up, but then I
Mm,
might need a piece, so, like, I tend to get this, like, small mountain on my cutting table,
yes.
and then when I'm done with the project, I will, like, go through and, like, okay, it's time to sort of reset everything, but, um, I absolutely feel like I need my supplies to be organized. And
Yeah, same.
I have, you can, for those of you who are watching, you can see I have the like open cube shelving,
Yes,
and I need that because I need to be able to see everything. And
same.
so that is absolutely, like, I've got a glass, sort of glass front bookshelf cabinet with all my fabric in it. Um, all my fabric, all my quilting cotton, and
I like how you checked yourself there. Like,
most of my fabric. And then I've got, the stuff that's not in that cabinet is the, like, stash of, like, old bed sheets and
sure.
thrifted clothes and stuff like that. My mom, moved out of the house that we had been in for
Mhm.
a long time, a couple years ago. And so I got, like, I'm the oldest of 5, so there were, like, 5 kids worth of, like, cartoon bed
Sure.
sheets and things like that. And so she was
Mhm.
like, "Do you want this?" And so just garbage bags and garbage bags full of that sort of stuff came into my house.
So, what about this? We talk about it a lot when working with paper, but I know fabric artists are exactly the same. So what kind of scrap
I would say
is
the scraps.
is too small? Because I literally just picked this up off the floor and I was like, oh, I
We
gotta
can't
keep
throw
it.
that away.
This has potential. Friends, if you're listening, I'm holding up a 2x1 piece of fabric. I can't part with it. So do you?
Yeah. So I, like most quilters who keep their scraps, have
Yeah.
an overflowing, which is great when I teach, because I teach like
Mhm.
fabric collage workshops. And
Oh, I
so
love
I
fabric
bring
collage.
scrap stash, people are like, "Oh, this is amazing." And it brings me joy to see other people like rummaging through all my scraps and being happy.
Same.
Yes, like the giant counting his gold for sure. That's just like, look at all my riches.
Yes, I am bountiful in resources. Like, I know, I totally get it. I
So
totally get
I
it.
have, yeah, I would say like the smallest scraps that I will like actually quilt with or
Oh,
like
sure.
sew with are gonna be like probably a 2 by 2 or
Okay.
rough equivalent. Sometimes if I have like long strings or something, but anything that's smaller than that, I have just like a little like old like rice container, those little plastic buckets that rice come in and things like that.
Yeah.
And I dump my tiny scraps, my thread off cuts and things like that. And then when that gets full, it goes into a garbage bag, that I say that this what is for. Have I done this yet? No, I just have a garbage bag full of tiny scraps and
Yeah.
thread, but to like use as stuffing for
I was
things.
gonna say, I'm sure that has a
Yeah.
reason, and yeah, for those of us who are visual journalers or art journalers, those little, thread things, we love to mush that down as another textural layer. So yeah, it's like this belief that is garbage.
Right.
And I think too that in this whole organization conversation, I used to be I wouldn't label things because I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a cute little label and it's all gonna match and it's gonna, like, have a theme and, like, I'm gonna crush the labeling." I have stopped that. Like, now it's a piece of masking tape. Like, "Girl, just get it labeled so that we can get on with our life."
Yeah.
Because I'm forever opening it when I didn't label it to be like, "What did I put in here?" And so I think that, like and as you look around my studio, it is just there's a piece of masking tape. I'll get to the, scrapbooking event of making the label at some other time. But
Yeah.
I do think that, there's this joke in the community too about how like getting craft supplies and organizing them is a different hobby than actually using them. And so I'm trying so hard to make sure that I stay like aware of the
Yeah.
things that I just have to have.
Absolutely, and that's for me why the open shelving is so
Yes.
important, because I'm looking at it
Yeah.
and the shelves are organized, right? I've got a little cubby that's,
Yes.
the jelly print and the paint and stuff like that, and then I've got a little cubby that's, I was at, which
Yes.
is a conference in California, and
Yep.
Christy
Natterdoodle. Our
with
Natalie.
Matterdoodle, and
Yes.
then Christy of Make It Take It, who I know is
Yeah.
watching, she does a one in that just happened a couple weeks ago called Make It Together in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Mm.
And so, every time I go to one of those, I like pick up, there's like something new that I'm like, I have to do this. So like I
Yes.
have glass engraving stuff now, which I did at the conference, and I was like, this is the thing, I'm doing it. Of course, I haven't even done it yet, but like
Right. But do you have all the things to do it?
all the things.
Excellent.
But like that has its own little cubby. And so, but I stare at it and then, go and do,
Right.
like for me, that keeps it top of mind, at least, even
Oh,
if it's not
definitely.
the number one project on the list.
Well, I do need to show you what I am working on right now.
Yes, please.
And in classic Jolene style, I had an idea for something, but I can't just make a little baby one. I gotta make I gotta make a great big one, and it's gotta
Big
like take
ver-
over my whole life. So I have it right here. And for those of you listening, just visualize, visualize. So I went out to, oh my God. Okay, okay. So so I went out to the machine shed and I got myself a tomato
I was
cage.
gonna say, is that a tomato cage you've
Yeah,
got
it's
there?
a tomato cage. And I turned this girl upside down. It's so tall I can't even lift up. And I'm making a Christmas tree. So
That's so
I
smart.
I know, right? So I'm hitting the ceiling. So this is the bottom of it so far. And it's paper tubes. And there, can you see it now?
A little bit, yeah, I can see it better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took the tomato cage and then I had to make reinforced wired bits so that my layers of paper tubes can come up,
Mhm.
because you can't just put the paper tubes where the sections of the tomato cage
Yeah.
are. I had to build in extras. And so I've made thousands of paper tubes. And so the whole thing going up is going to be a Christmas tree made of paper tubes. I mean, ridiculous, of course, but it's gonna look amazing when I'm done. I mean,
It
look
I
at that
yeah,
girl,
that looks totally worth it.
doesn't it? See, now my problem with thematic crafting is I don't have the heart to put it away. Like I don't know that I'll be like, oh, this is just Christmas. I think instead it'll be, look at my paper tree that
Yes.
just resides in my living room
Yes.
because it's so amazing.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it struck me, and I think I saw somebody like maybe wrapping paper tubes around like a cardboard like pinnacle thing. And I
Yeah.
was like, I got something that shape. It's 4 feet tall. Yes, let's make that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing in quilting too. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna test my idea on this little like a mini
Right.
quilt," and I'm like, "Nope, I'm just going for it. I'm gonna make the 70 by 70 quilt to test out this
Same.
idea that I have."
Same. Nothing small. Nothing small. Okay, so AJ, oh my gosh, you are like my favorite guest. We are now going to make a very abrupt segue, so that we can talk about another little favorite segment of our show, and it is called Book Nook for Makers. A cute little commercial. All right. So the book that I am reviewing for this week's show is called Irving Harper Works in Paper. This might not be a book that a person would necessarily need to buy, but it's definitely a checkout from the library. Irving Harper was an industrial designer. And for those of you who love mid century modern, Irving actually worked for Herman Miller. And so these clocks, these clocks are some of the design works that Irving did while he was an employee of Herman's. And he also worked for some other industrial, like car people. And he was really stressed out and he was trying to calm his mind. And so he started sculpting with paper. That's paper. Isn't that amazing? So if you can't see it, it is a bird, it's an owl, and it's made entirely from, in this book, which was printed in 2011, they call it paper board. And I'm pretty sure that what they mean is a different kind of card stock or maybe like corrugated brown papers, not quite cardboard, but heavier than cardstock. So somewhere in the middle. And so Irving was really busy making models for clients of his ideas. And he just started then to explore and make more with paper. So Irving died in 2015. There's Irving sitting in his living room with all of the things that he sculpted out of paper. He sculpted people and birds and also did some really unique abstract art. Now, the reason that I think this is a good, like, check it out from the library, a good book to explore, is that sometimes I get imposter syndrome and compare myself, but then other times I'm wildly inspired by all of the places that my medium can go that maybe I haven't thought about. And so Irving's got a project that I'm really excited to try. So Irving took, again, they call it construction paper. There's no way this is construction paper in the way that we call it because it wouldn't hold its color. But they are thick pieces of paper that he has made into almost like a little shoot or a fang. And then he's put that together in a large, which appeals to me. It's about 7 feet tall. And he's just done a really interesting color grid where we're going from, light to bright to dark. And it's all the same kind of shape. So, as a person who loves making paper tubes, I'm kind of inspired to try a different shape and to try something new. Irving also, for my quilter friends, did a whole lot of paper weaving. Paper. And it looks a lot like a quilt. So the story of Irving Harper is really interesting, and so is the inspiration that can be drawn from his life and his work. Irving and I even have one project in common. Irving did his with circles of construction paper and toothpicks, and I made mine with circles of books and little risers that I sculpted out of paper. Yeah, really, really interesting. Really, really exciting. I love that he used toothpicks. And I love this whole like mid-century modern kind of vibe. So again, it's Irving Harper, Works in Paper. I would at least check this one out from the library. I told you so many times about the people who leave books on my porch. This was a book left on my porch from a local neighbor who was a retiring art teacher. And so she just gave me a huge stack of books that she had that she no longer needed. And so I'm so excited that this one is now in my collection because Irving, I appreciate you. I am wildly inspired. So Irving Harper, Works in Paper.
That sounds amazing. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
it
to look that
really
up.
is.
Also, fun fact, so I'm in Southwest Michigan in Fennville. Herman Miller is headquartered in Grand Rapids, which is
That's
just like
right.
45 minutes away from us. So I have a lot of Herman Miller fabric in my collection because they have an outlet store here where they sell their like upholstery and their vinyl and everything that they are at least the leftover, $2.50 a yard.
Oh my gosh, stop that right now. Seriously?
Yep. So if you're ever in the Grand Rapids area, it's in Zeeland, Michigan. It's called the Office Outlet or something. Google Herman Miller Outlet, and you can their upholstery
Mind blown.
vinyl on the giant rolls that whatever they don't use, it goes there.
Yeah.
It's $2.50 a yard. You can imagine how much of that I have in my stack.
I love mid-century modern. I kind of like incorporate it, into my house. I mean, my house is called a Federalist style house. And so like it has like some real Victorian leanings. But I love mushing those things together, like a real architectural lamp, then with something scrolly and fancy. Like I love bringing all that together. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, we definitely love the mid-century modern vibe in our house
Oh,
as well.
same. Reminds me of the quilt that you are working on. Oh, and too, AJ, tell us about your placemats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about techniques earlier.
Mhm.
One of the techniques I really love for even if you're an experienced quilter, but especially if you're like wanting to try out quilting
Mhm.
or you're even just new to sewing, it's called Quilt as You Go. And I have a little class that's on my website to make a Quilt as You Go placemat. So here's
Oh,
one. There's a lot. I love this fabric. It's all like
I
narwhal.
love that fabric. And
Um,
was that a whale? Was that a
Yeah,
whale?
there's whales, there's narwhals, and there's like whales in space.
Of course there are whales in space. That just makes sense.
I think this fabric collection is called Cosmic Sea, if anybody
Okay.
is looking for that. But then it's also great for, as we were talking about, all those scraps that you have.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Quilt as you go. So the normal or sort of more traditional way of
Mhm,
making quilts is you make a top by piecing fabric together,
mhm.
and then you have a back, and then you have the batting, which is the soft stuff in between. You sandwich them together, and then you stitch them together, and that's the quilting. So you're basically doing like making a top and then making the sandwich. Well, with Quilt As You Go, you're sewing the top part, the top fabric to the batting, that middle
Oh, sure.
do it. So
Mhm.
you're essentially like cutting out a step, which means it goes really fast, but it also is really great, especially this version of Quilt As You Go. There's a lot of different ways to do it,
Mhm.
but this version is really good for especially smaller items like placemats or coasters or
Right.
things like that. And it's just a super fun way. I love to do it when I have just like, I just need a scrappy, fast
Right.
project. So I have a 1 hour class on our website, and would love to give your wonderful community a little bit of a discount on that. So,
Thank you, AJ. That's so nice. I
so
think the code is
yeah, so the code is Happy Time, all one word. And so normally the class is $30. It's about an hour, and you get an hour-long instructional video, start to finish, plus a PDF instruction pattern.
that's great.
And so that coupon, that Happy Time code, will get you $20 off, so just $10 for the class. And that is at our website, which is
And
co-createstudio.mi.com.
I will be sure to link all of that in our show notes, make it super simple for people to find. That's very kind and generous of you. Thank you so much. I hope folks will head on over. That would make me so proud if they did that. Um, so now, AJ, what about this? So I've prepared a little treat for us. And it is called, here it is, Dear Crafty. So some of our listeners, knowing that you were coming, sent in a couple of questions.
I love
And
it.
so let me pull those up for you. The first one is, we have to definitely get to this one, is it's okay. I have to ask, what is the story of the underwear quilt? Did it start as a joke, or did it actually mean something deeper about creativity and play? Please say more. I'm with
Um,
Riley. I'm with Riley. I have to know.
Riley, thank you for asking this. I love talking about my underwear quilt.
Yeah.
So this quilt actually started, I belong to a quilt guild around
Yes.
here, and it started as a challenge. So a lot of
Oh,
quilters will participate in these challenges.
yeah.
So, but the challenge was we got a piece of yellow fabric. For those of you
Okay.
who are quilters, we got a fat quarter, so about 18 by 22
Mhm.
inches of yellow fabric. We all got the same fabric. And then the theme was summer solstice.
Okay.
And that was it. That's all you got. So I was thinking about that, and we live in Southwest Michigan, and so around the summer solstice, the sun doesn't go down till like it doesn't get dark until almost 11 o'clock around here during the summertime. Sometime it'll be like 10:30, 10:45, and it is still light out. And
It's kinda
so
twilighty, yeah.
yeah. And so one of the things I love about summer solstice is laying in bed and looking out our windows, which are west facing, and still watching the sun go down, which also is really
Okay.
fun because like I don't want to go to bed if the sun's still up. But
Right, you can be so much more productive. Type
so
A. Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about like that's my summer solstice vibe. I was like, I'm gonna do a bed. It also started with a little bit of a question that I have been playing with in my brain of like, what if I put a quilt on a quilt? Um,
Okay.
so thinking about three-dimensional stuff, and then for whatever reason, I was like, how would I put underwear? Like, so I had just all of these things sort of floating around in my brain.
Right.
So the quilt is the yellow is sort of in strips as part of a sunsetty sort of
Sure.
um, image at the top with some of the hand-dyed indigo strips that I had done. And then there's basically a bed that's on
Mhm.
it. And there's a flannel quilt. I actually made a small quilt and then attached it. So it's a three-dimensional thing that you can raise up and down. And then when you raise the bed, the bed's quilt off,
Oh, okay, yeah,
there's underwear under the bed. Because
yeah.
you know,
That's brilliant.
what's under the bed, right? Uh,
Right.
and so it was a little bit of just like fun play. Let me try and
Yeah.
teach a technique. But it was also a little bit of a sneaky way of putting myself and my husband and like our queer identity into that quilt because there's two
Yeah.
pairs of men's underwear. And so it's not an explicitly like, this is a gay quilt,
Right.
but is very much about like our experience of being a gay queer couple and like
Right.
laying on the bed watching the sunset. So it's
I love it.
thing.
So it's not necessarily a quilt made of underwear.
No,
It
it's not.
is
There's 2 literal pairs of underwear that I
right,
um,
because that's a whole 'nother set of
that
questions.
is like, I don't put it past me. I would totally do that.
Right, right. Especially if they were leopard, like, that would
Yeah.
be
Oh, yeah.
amazing. And a thing that we would all need to see.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful story. I'm so glad you shared that with us. Claire now has another one. AJ, you work with so many different materials, yarn, fabric, dye, and even ink. How do you decide what medium or project to work on when inspiration strikes?
Oh, Claire, this is such a great question
Mhm.
because I don't know about you all, but I'm working on so many projects because my brain is constantly like,
Same.
"Oh, that would be cool. What about that? What about that?"
Mhm.
What if is my personal favorite way of starting a project, and that's the way
Right?
like, a lot of my best projects start with a like, "What
Mhm.
if," right? Like what would happen if I put underwear on a quilt? Like, how would I do that?
Only good things, AJ,
Only good
only good things would happen.
Um, and so I think one of the things that helps me decide what to work on is if I do have a deadline. So I do
Mm,
thing. And so, like right now, I have a quilt, a mini quilt that I need to finish by the end of the week, so it can go to the shop for the sample. So some of it
right.
is like that deadline driven.
Same,
Uh,
I'm a pressure player, like, I do better when like, if I have unlimited time, ugh, I'm kind of a goblin,
yeah.
like, it just I like the pressure cooker.
So
Mhm.
I've started submitting some of my art quilts to gallery exhibitions and things like that, which has been really cool. The Mondrian quilt I showed earlier, actually, I finished this week because I'm trying to submit it to QuiltCon, which is the big modern quilt guild
Yes.
show. So a lot of times it helps to have a deadline, but
Yeah.
if I don't have a deadline, I really am just sort of like go with my gut. What do I feel like I want to play with, right?
Mhm.
Which is also why I tend to have multiple projects going
That's
at
so
once.
intuitive too, and I love that it's more introspective about, like,
Yeah.
what do I wanna work on? What do I wanna play with? Like, what needs my fingers right now? Like, I love that.
And thinking about like, am I super stressed out? Do I need something that's going to be
Mm,
simple and repetitive and just like some
mhm,
basic quilt top piecing so that I can get into like that flow state
mhm,
and sort of regulate myself? Am I ready for a challenge? Do I want my brain to work a little bit more? Do I need a problem to solve? A lot of my
same,
quilts come out of like feeling like I have a problem I want to solve.
mhm.
And trying to figure out how to do it. Like the quilt behind me that has the curtains on it, like I had this vision for this quilt. Also, I found those curtains at a thrift store and they're just so amazing, and I was like, I have to have these. They'll
Yes, yes.
something.
It needs a new
and,
life,
and
yes.
then this was the project that was just like, obviously this is the project it goes.
Obviously.
Basically jumped out of the cabinet, was like, use me. um
Right.
but so if I'm looking for something, like I want to try to solve a problem or like try a new technique, because I feel like I grow so much by trying new things,
Mhm,
and I get
same,
better at my other techniques by having
mhm.
tried something
Right.
else.
I totally agree, and I think too that, like, so when, our kids were in sports, I always took a crochet project because one of the things that I learned in my parenting time of that is that for me, busy hands always meant a quiet mouth.
Mhm.
Not that I was going to yell anything at my child or his teammates, but it was the other parents.
Yeah.
Like I was so stressed out by what they were saying that if I just kept crocheting, I was able to like tune it out.
You could yell internally instead of externally.
Yes, exactly, because for goodness sakes, why are we yelling at 12-year-olds? Like, that's, like, the dumbest thing ever.
I
So
always have something like a handwork project, whether
yes,
when I was knitting a lot, it was always a knitting project or
yep,
something like that. Now it tends to be like a hand sewing, or like
mhm,
my jeans that I talked about earlier that I'm
yep,
embroidering. Those are the things that are living in my bag. And I will carry them around, and I may not do anything with them for days, but I know that they're there. And
oh,
especially
yeah,
like if I have meetings at work, because I work full time. Unfortunately don't get to play with art full time yet, but there are certain meetings where like I need to have my hands doing something so my mouth is
yes,
not working too, because
same,
sometimes I like to be a little too
same.
artist.
It's almost like, people who doodle while they listen. I am the same way. Like I have to have busy hands. I've been that way my whole life. It makes me actually a more active listener for people who might not, who think that we're full of it. Like it actually helps me be a better listener. And I've learned too that like I don't bring a crochet project where I have to count every stitch, or this is more like down the row and back the row.
Yeah, just
It's more
go,
like,
that sweater body where you're just going
yeah,
around
just
and around and around and around.
yep, just repetitive. Down we go, like absolutely. And I think too that like um for those of us who've been able to connect and science, we have science too that talks about this flow state that a lot of artists get into and just how good it is for us and our brains. And it's taken me a long time to realize because I used to get some grief from family members who would say you have too much time on your hands, with all the crafty things that I do and have always done. And it's like, that's not what this is. This is the very best version of Joleen. Like, this is who you're getting because I'm a little unsettled if I don't make something every day. And
Yeah.
even if it's just a tiny bit of progress, right? It can be a tiny bit of progress. And I also, AJ, wanted to say, have you heard the Happy Time like zone defense about how we feel about projects?
No, please tell me.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So you have you have a go bag for, oh hello, someone's in my podcast. Hello, sir. So you have a go bag for when you're going to be in the car for a long time, and that's one project. You have a go bag for the living room when you might be watching TV. That's a different project. You have a go bag when you might be like in line or waiting in a queue, and that's a different project. So the zone defense is that you've got something that fits the environment because you can't bring out a great big thing if you're not in your living room. And it also prevents that frantic packing before you go on a thing. Like you've got zones of projects. You're
That's
welcome.
so smart. I need to start doing that because I definitely am like, where's the thing? Where am I going?
Yes,
What I
yes.
need a project? What project do I
Yes. And you leave the scissors, like you leave the scissors, you leave
Yep.
the implements, you leave it all, and you just grab the go bag.
Yep.
We talked about it here on the podcast like last year, and it's like changed because I was one of those like grab, 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 grab. And then I bring this great big bag where I can't even like get my feet on the floor in the car and I can't find anything. And then I just end up scrolling on my phone. So so zone defense of your projects. You're welcome. We just
Yes.
changed your
Yep.
life.
Really do. Yep. Nah, I'm just like, now I'm like, don't turn around and start doing that, right? Like you're okay,
Right.
here for a few more minutes. Don't go putting your go back together right now.
Exactly. And Deborah, highly like, and you deserve a lot of good scissors. Like, don't
Okay.
get the crappy scissors. Like, get the good scissors, the Tim Holtz 7-inch serrated, and hide them everywhere you go.
If there's anything that I have learned in my
Oh,
crafting, it is there are never too many good pairs of small scissors around.
exactly. Exactly. When I was putting together the supplies for my craft room here at our retreat center, I just went to Amazon and I was like, okay, I need 14 scissors. And oh my gosh, absolute garbage. Like they barely cut through paper. They're just awful. And so like that was a waste of time and resources. And so I finally got my favorite is the Tim Holtz 7-inch serrated. I talk about it all the time. Tim Holtz should really give me a brand deal
Right.
because I've probably sold 15. No. I've influenced like 15 folks. But they are like the best because the serrated edge gets through bookboard and fabric and it's just the best. But anyway, so yeah, the crafty time community, they know how crazy I'm about these scissors.
It's great to have those favorite supplies that you just feel so confident in,
Yo-yo.
that you're just like,
Mhm.
I know, because the thing about crafting that I also love, and especially why I work with fabric so much, is
Yeah.
that it's a tactile experience. It's a
Mhm.
sensory experience. And
Definitely.
especially scissors. Like if you've got a pair of scissors that one is just like doesn't feel good on your hands, but
Right.
also like isn't gonna cut well, isn't like it
Mhm.
diminishes the pleasure, the like physical pleasure.
Oh, definitely. I absolutely believe that 100% because these icky scissors that I bought just to have scissors,
Yeah.
like nobody, like everyone was leaving them on their table and like trying to find like if someone brought their own.
Yeah.
And so, my husband is so like he says, get the right tool for the job. That engineer of mine, he's not kidding. Like, get the right tool for the job. It just makes everything just so much better.
Yeah.
So, and oh my gosh, AJ, I'm just looking at the time. Can you believe we are almost out? But before we let you go, we have to get to the Happy 10, which I know you know about. And so it just gives us one more chance to get to know you just a little bit better before we say goodbye. So you can give one word answers, you can elaborate, you can do whatever you want. Hopefully, our questions aren't too hard. The first one is, what's your favorite word?
This is literally probably the hardest question you could have asked me, Jolene.
Okay, favorite word today. Your favorite word today. How about that?
Today, this is so silly, but the first word that came to my mind right now, so I'm just gonna say it.
Yes,
is sploot. So like it's like an internet word when your dog like stretches out all the way with their back legs back. And so
Yeah.
we have some new to us puppies, and one of them is a big fan of the puppy sploot.
Oh
So
my gosh, I love that so much. Oh my God, I didn't even know that was a word, and now I'm gonna use it all the
yeah,
time.
definitely like Google image
Yeah, the sploot.
puppy
Let me see
sploot.
what. Yeah, my dog is that that black pile over there in the corner. I can't really see him behind the Christmas tree. He's not splooting, but he's just like in a big pile of blankets. So like animal lover. In fact,
Yeah.
I don't really trust people who don't like animals. Like I don't understand you if you're not like as succumb with love the way the rest of us are. So okay, so will this one be easier? Do you have a least favorite word?
I would say maybe not my least favorite word,
Mm-hmm.
but words that are when people are talking that are like absolutes,
Oh,
right?
sure. There's
No
no gray.
gray zone. I am
Yeah.
all about the gray zone.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a specific word, but I think the way that people use words to be this
Right.
with us or against us, it's this or that. There's no
Right.
gray zone. It's an absolute. Is my
Yeah,
least.
I think for me, like my least favorite words are associated with icky things,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I'll say there. Okay. What about what about this super serious question? What is the best kind of sandwich?
Oh man, I am such a sandwich lover.
Me too.
There is a deli in town here called Farmhouse Deli in Saugatuck, Michigan. If you're in the area, they do a vegan tofu banh mi, which is so good. Not the sandwich I
Mhm.
want to eat like every day for the rest of my
Sure.
life, but
Hmm.
so good. But the best kind of like just, I love a turkey Reuben as well.
Oh,
That's like
yeah. I
that I
think they
could.
call that a Rachel.
Oh,
They call the turkey. See, I'm a sandwich person. Like and I love a good Reuben Rachel. Love, 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 especially with like a really dark toasted pumpernickel.
mm,
Oh, love that. I love it when my teeth have like little brown brown toast crumbles in them. Like I love it.
still in your teeth. Yeah.
Love it so much. For me right now, I'm in a phase, this comes as no surprise to my people because toast is my favorite food. And because I get creative and I have Prue from British Baking Show, I have her cookbook on
Mhm.
toast and she's got some wonderful ideas. But as of late, I have been doing a whole grain with Biscoff. You got to have cookies in the peanut butter, right? With Biscoff. And then hot honey and then just like a little bit of granola, like kind of
Ooh, like
splooshed
crunchy.
on it, right? So for some crunchy, nutty, and Darren makes granola with like spicy mango and candied ginger and little bits of pineapple. So you get all of that together. So that's what I'm going with this
I'm a
week.
big savory sweet
Yeah,
combo
me too.
person.
And add in the heat. Have you
Yeah.
been doing the hot honey? You know about the hot
I,
honey?
we haven't been doing hot honey, but we always have a stash of kimchi and various
Yes.
other, pickled jalapenos, that sort of thing. My
Yes.
husband really loves hot. Um, I grew up, in the Midwest with some
Salt
white
and pepper,
people and
spicy.
family. My mom was half Greek, so we had like oregano too.
Ooh.
That was fancy.
Mhm.
But recently, I have been building up my spice tolerance, and my husband
Yeah,
is really excited about
that
that
is I'm happy for you too
because
because
he's the cook, he's the chef in the house too, and so
yes,
he,
because we kind of live by the acid heat fire, salt
Yeah.
rule, and that everything is better when you have all of those elements. And so even a sandwich, just a little kick of something, just whew, so much better. So
Yeah.
much better. All right. So what does being an artist mean to you?
Oh man. Means that you are somebody who sees the world through the lens of creative possibility.
Agreed. I feel that way, like in my business, in my life, in my relationships. I kind of approach all problems as an artist. Like it's the hat that's always on,
Mm.
right? Whereas, mom, wife, business owner, daughter, sister, cousin, friend, like those kind of change, but the artist hat is always, always on. And I find that it guides me better than anything else because it feels the most true.
Yeah, there's I think it's Bertrand Russell. He was a British philosopher,
Mhm.
and he has a quote that I really love that I feel like is just so perfect for like artists. Is
Mm.
it's not going to be exact, but something like it's a good idea every once in a while to put a question mark on everything you once knew, or something like that.
Yeah, that's so good. I
Like,
mean, AJ, just look at what's come out of today. We are gonna make stickers about poly-craftual or
yeah,
craft curious. And now this one. Like
yeah.
everything should have a question mark. Like we are a literal think tank. Like that is some really good ideas right there.
Why are
Love
we
it.
not millionaires right
I
now?
know, right? Exactly. It's coming. We shall manifest
Yeah.
because we're Virgos. All right. What about this one? Is there a profession other than your own that you would like to attempt?
Oh, I'm working right now in my sort of profession, higher
Mhm.
education. I would love to be able to get to being a full-time artist, maker, teacher. But putting those two aside, I think I would really love to like be like a construction worker, honestly.
I
Or
say
like,
welder. I
well,
say
yeah, it's like
welder.
a welder. I thought we
Yeah.
used to live in Philadelphia, and they would advertise the, like, welding technical courses on the
Mhm.
subway all the time, and I
Yep.
so often was like, "Gosh, I wanna try that." Yeah.
Same. I'm
Welding
wildly accident prone, so my family is not for, but, like, I think it would be great. Like, they're like, "You're gonna catch your hair on fire." I'm like, "Be
yeah.
that as it may, I really wanna try."
Long haul trucker is also something that I think about occasionally,
You
which is
enjoy
so
a long
funny.
drive.
I don't really, which is the
What?
interesting thing, but I think the idea I don't know, maybe it's just the idea of, like, learning how to drive one of the big trucks, I think is maybe what I wanna do. I don't actually wanna have to drive it across the country, I just wanna know how to drive
AJ, that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
it.
Like like, to me,
Notice
like
how all of my alternate professions are very butch and not at all sort of my general aesthetic at all either.
well,
And
that
so
is
that maybe I
exciting.
need to go back to therapy to figure
Well,
that
you're getting it right here. We'll take
yeah.
care of you. I think that, like, when you said long haul trucker, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you must enjoy really long drives." Nope, don't.
No. I drive so much around here. I drive an hour each way to
Oh.
work, and but, like, I think it is the idea of, like, knowing how to operate
Mhm.
one of
Yeah.
those huge trucks and just knowing how to do that and
Sure,
being
having that kind of
yeah,
expertise,
or,
I
like,
could see
being able
that.
to drive a bus, right? Like, I don't actually wanna be a bus driver. Those people get such rude treatment,
Abused,
right?
absolutely.
But the idea of
Mm.
knowing how to drive something like that, I think is really appealing.
Well, I have a funny little aside in that, so we have like a family joke that I never leave the farm and I don't really need to leave the farm, which is kind of crazy. But I live in such a small town. It's not like I run to Target or run to Joann's, may she rest in peace.
Right.
Like I don't have really anywhere to go. And my guests come to me every Thursday. So, I mean, usually when I leave the farm, I'm running to the dump to jump in the book bins to see what's there. My record is 22 days. Like I didn't leave the farm for 22 days. And when I did leave, it was to go to the dump. But anyway, I digress. So I got a new car, new to me car. Sometime this, I don't even remember, sometime this summer. I just had to have it because we had, one perfect functioning car and then another like 20-year-old that was just like, maybe it will, maybe it won't. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I worked too hard not to have a vehicle. And so I got a Mini Cooper, a used Mini Cooper. It's my second one. It's so stinking cute. But AJ, since I've had it, I think I've driven it 10 times because I just don't go anywhere. but I just had to have it because, gosh darn it, if I want to go somewhere, I want to be able to go
It's
without
an
having to think.
opportunity. You wanna be able to make the
Right.
choice. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but I just looked at it the other day and I was like, wow, I think it's been it's been sitting in that spot for a long time. Oh, I love it here. I really don't need to leave.
When
Okay,
you found paradise, you really don't need to leave.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, last one. Serious. What brings you the most happiness?
Um, Making things, but also sharing the things that I've made with other people. Like, Virgo, I do need some external validation, but also just, like, seeing other people get excited both about what I've made, but also being excited by the idea of their own making. Like,
Yeah.
teaching craft and art classes is, like, where I think I feel the most happy, and just watching other people tap into that creative joy is, like, just makes me so happy.
I am gonna totally steal and say yes. When people come to my pick your projects retreats and they make one of my designs, and like when someone gets done, they turn around, they hold it up, and we all clap and we take pictures and we get so excited. I am just like my heart is just like outside of my chest,
Mhm.
just so delightfully happy in their happiness of having made something that wasn't necessarily a 5-minute craft, but something that they are looking forward to hanging on their walls, or they love the experience of making, or they didn't think they could make it and they did. I just, oh, I love that. I love that so much. The the radiance of
Yeah, I
others.
was just say, like, I feel like when I'm teaching and, like, helping people learn and watching people make
Mhm.
those connections, but also just, like, seeing people enjoy making things, like, I feel like I have, like, this energy, like, radiating out of
Yes.
me. Like, my
Yeah.
skin is gonna burst
Like it
because
shoots like Spider-Man, like it shoots out, and I'm just like, "Wow!" It's so awesome.
yeah,
I totally agree. Oh my gosh, AJ, would you believe we're out of time? And you have been so much fun to hang out with. Thank you so much for being here. And friends, please remember AJ offered this really generous discount on the Make As You Go placemats. The coupon code is Happy Time. Ooh, did you hear my Minnesota accent? It just that was a big one. Wow. I'm almost
it's so
embarrassed.
slow. I know, from being from Northern Illinois, when I talk to my mom, it's like, "Oh," and I'm like,
I know. I said code or whatever. I don't even think I could do it again, but it just popped right out. But I'll be sure that we link that in the show notes so that it's easy for everyone to find. I do hope that you will be able to join me on my next show, which, oh my gosh, is November. Miriam Sushman is going to be my guest. And Miriam was a photojournalist. And she, for the US and Israel, and she is a mosaic artist. And so she is going to be here talking about how a library book kind of like tipped her perspective and she like landed in this world of color and creativity, and she uses china and beads to stained and tempered glass. And so Miriam is going to be with me on November 5th. So I hope you all be able to join us. AJ, thank you so much. You've been
"Thank you so much."
amazing.
Everybody else who's tuning in live and watching later, so great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, friends, we will see you the next time on Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. And until then, I hope you find all kinds of reasons to be happy. I'll certainly be rooting for you. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks, AJ.